If I ask you the question, what do you think is the most influential and important wooden coaster, you would likely have a bunch of answers flying into your mind. There is of course the Beast, that absolute monster of a ride. There's also the Coney Island Cyclone for its longevity, and maybe even some more modern ones like El Toro and the Voyage because of their sheer size and scale. Hell, you could even throw in some deep cuts like the Crystal Beach Cyclone or Son of Beast, with the former likely being the inspiration for GCI.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
And Son of Beast literally being so terrible, there is now an unwritten rule in the industry to basically never do that again, you dumb fucks.
My brain is big and smart.
You would definitely think of these answers. The right answer is the Racer at Kings Island. Stick with me on this, it'll make sense in a minute. The Racer is a PTC wooden coaster at Kings Island in Mason, Ohio. And not just any standard wooden coaster either. Oh no, this is a dueling coaster. Which may have been obvious with the name, but whatever. And yes, this is indeed one of the most important wooden coasters in history. Yes, this thing. I'm not fucking with you, this isn't a bit, I'm dead serious. Somehow, the Racer essentially kicked off a sort of coaster renaissance in the 70s. You see, in the late 50s and especially in the 60s, roller coasters' popularity were declining heavily, especially the demand for new ones. The golden age of coasters had long since passed, and parks weren't really looking for these rickety old rides to be built anymore. This period of decline basically forced legendary coaster designer John C. Allen to retire. To put this into perspective, this would have been like if right after making The Birds, Hitchcock just straight up retired.
Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
Shit was dire back then. But you know what? A massive, brand spanking new amusement park outside of Cincinnati wanted a big old wooden coaster to define itself, and they hired the PTC to make the Racer, an 88-foot tall, 50-mile-an-hour dueling coaster designed by John C. Allen right after retirement.
He's back!
With the ride essentially nostalgia-baiting literally everybody of the Golden Age, and the public just ate that shit right up. The Racer and the park were smash successes. So successful, the ride received national attention with every park wanting a new coaster of their own, just like or different from the Racer. They even got the goddamn Brady Bunch to promote it. And, as a result, a coaster renaissance took place. Thanks to the Racer, I guess. So, I guess the moral of the story is that the Racer is the most important wood coaster, thanks to a sitcom.
Now do my ex-wife song.
Alright, it's summertime. I won't spoil your minds with any more history. What's there to talk about for the actual ride?
There's nothing. Thank you, son.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Racer has exceptionally little to discuss. The only reason I made this a video in the first place was because of how strangely important this ride is to the industry as a whole. But if you strip that away, then what do you have? A pretty solid dueling wooden coaster, I guess. And that's really it. Nothing much else whatsoever. But I'll at least make an effort to talk about it. So the ride is the key attraction of Coney Mall, on the left side of Kings Island. I mentioned earlier how this ride nostalgia baited people. This entire area was made to nostalgia bait people, and if you know the history of Kings Island, you know exactly why. But that's besides the point. You can choose what side you want, red or blue. It doesn't really matter, they both feel the same. However, the front definitely is where you want to sit, as it does give the smoothest experience. Racer is actually very smooth for its age, thanks to a number of retracts, but it's still a 54-year-old wooden coaster. It's gonna be bumpy, and there's a couple rough patches on the ride. The layout is extremely simple. You climb up your 88-foot lift hill and descend a zippy and fun drop. You then go through a nice sea of airtime hills, and while the forces aren't strong, you can rise out of your seat a bit. However, this largest one right here actually does provide a really nice pop of airtime on the front. And then you turn around and go through another set of hills. And yeah, that's really it, I gotta admit. I know, quite the daring and unique experience, right? But really, Racer is just very simple with what it does. But it does it well, and it is quite enjoyable. And that's why I'd give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. Racer is undeniably fun. This is absolutely a ride I'll do every time I go to Kings Island. It's a park icon, and it's absolutely gorgeous too. It's just maybe not a ride I'll do more than once. However, I will also be doing its sister coaster, Racer 75, this summer. Oh, hold on a second, Oh, it's Racer 75. I forgot they changed the name.
Yikes!